Thank you with Frankie Corrado and Darren Drager. Yes, we know we are the three most overdressed people on Fort Lauderdale Beach, but hey, you got to be classy. It's the eve of Game 7, and it could be one of the most historic games in NHL history when you have the best player in the world and his Edmonton Oilers trying to complete the most remarkable comeback in 82 years. Hard to believe, Drags, that there will be a bigger game in Connor McDavid's entire career than this.
No, I think that's a fair statement, and a historic effort to this point by the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. 42 points is the stuff that history is made of. He has dragged this team into a Game 7, and he did that with heroic efforts in Game 4 and again in Game 5. Now, speed has really been the issue for the Florida Panthers, and who doesn't think that Connor McDavid is going to utilize warp speed in Game 7? Now, it's not just about McDavid. It's about the goaltending. It's about the defensive detail. It's about special teams and all of that. But there's an opportunity to join history, do something special, and McDavid's the man for the job.
And I think perhaps the fact that he wasn't a real factor in Game 6 might be even more frightening for the Panthers.
Yeah.
To do that 2 games in a row for him would be extremely rare. So the Panthers had outscored the Oilers 9-1 through the first 8 periods, 20-5 Edmonton since then. And was there perhaps a TSN turning point in there that nobody thought of at the time?
It's not an obvious one because you don't think of garbage time as the time where a series can shift, but you go back to Game 3, it's 4-1 for the Panthers, and the Edmonton Oilers score 2 goals in that third period, and it seems innocent enough. It's a Philip Broberg shot that goes off Nico Mikkola, beats Sergei Bobrovsky, and it's a Ryan McLeod tip in front of the net, and you think, okay, that's really the first time we saw Bob get beat, and after that, the Edmonton Oilers explode for 8 goals in the next game. So you look back at the way the series has gone, the Florida Panthers have not played with the lead at all since that moment. It's hard to not think that was a not so obvious TSN turning point that leads us to Game 7.
And you wonder, though, if it can flip that fast and that completely, could it flip again just for one game in Game 7? I know the Panthers are hoping that. What do they have to do to have a chance to make it happen?
A number of different things, but really what it comes down to is that same relief that the Oilers felt from beating Bobrovsky and scoring a couple goals. The Panthers need to find that kind of relief. And really for me, it comes down to 2 areas. The power play needs to be a factor. Now, the Florida Panthers have made a couple changes on their power play as the series has gone on. Oliver Ekman-Larsson replaced Brandon Montour on defense on the first power play unit. Now we're going to see another change. In comes Vladimir Tarasenko replacing Carter Verhaeghe, who only has a goal and an assist in his last 8 games. And then the start. The start is so important for the Florida Panthers because they haven't been able to chase the games and come from behind, but when they play with the lead, they're such a dangerous team.
Oh, first goal will be crucial. We said that in Game 6, but in this case, to get the crowd into it, if the Oilers can get the crowd out of it. Everybody's banged up. We know that, even though they won't say this time of year. But Ryan Nugent-Hopkins not skating for the Oilers in the day before Game 7. Any concern there?
No, as Ryan Rishaug reported earlier, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins feeling a bit under the weather, so he took the day off. There doesn't seem to be a lot of concern that he's going to miss Game 7. I mean, it feels like it's next to impossible that he's not going to find a way to pull himself together. Question about Evander Kane, Chris Knoblauch playing around with it a little bit, describing that he could be an option for Game 7. I don't believe that's the case. Why would you tinker with the lineup if you're Chris Knoblauch, other than some of the adjustments that we've seen him make going into the game or in-game adjustments?
The most startling and clutch stat of these playoffs, the Oilers are 7-0 in elimination games. So 5-0 when they've been facing elimination, 2-0 when they've had a chance to eliminate the opponent. If they make it 8, they are legendary. This team is eternal. Panthers, they don't want to be legendary for the wrong reason. The 16th win, the toughest for both sides.